We have in the studio Director Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network, CHRAN, Otuekong Franklyn Isong. Otuekong Isong, it's good to have you on Niger Delta today. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Indeed.
Good morning. Good to be here with you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Let's start this conversation by assessing the new minimum wage, starting from the federal level. I mean, we know that the federal government agreed 70,000 naira, and other states of the federation mirrored and followed suit, although we have some states that have been able to show that they can pay more. And basically, states in the Niger Delta region, for instance, Rivers States settled for 85,000 naira, and Akwa Ibom settled 80,000 naira. And we have other examples of such nature. But then, looking at the minimum wage, the new minimum wage that has been agreed upon, a lot of conversations has been around the extent of disparity that is witnessed, especially when it comes to comparing what was obtainable before now and what has been settled. Some people still say that there is a huge lacuna there, that even if we were to settle for amounts that were received years back, it is still much more better than what the civil servants are clamoring for at this time. Can we get your opinion on this?
Well, I'm not an advocate of minimum wage. If you must hear this from me, I have over time maintained that we need living wage rather than minimum wage. Living wage in the sense that you need something that could sustain you throughout the month before another pay comes in. If you look at, just like what you just said, if you look at the cost of living today and compare to the approved national minimum wage, how much is garri a bag? Or how much is rice? How much is beans? How much is food items? If you are paying house rent, the cost of house rent has increased. The taxes you are also meant to pay has also tripled. The cost of petrol today is high. How much is petrol? Petrol goes within Akwa Ibom State. You buy between 1,100 to 1,050 naira. You cross over to River State, you get between 1,100 to 1,020 naira. You cross River State, you have between 1,000. So you see that it's above 1,000. That is a liter of petrol. Then if you are a civil servant that owns a vehicle that takes you to work, you need to fuel the car. Now you are fueling the car. Let us even say, if you receive your minimum wage of 70,000 naira, you now use, let us even assume that you use 40,000, which is not possible, to fuel the car, to take you throughout the month, which is not also possible. Then what is left for you is 30,000. Okay. Now, how far can this 30,000 naira go? If you're a family of 5, your kids are in school, the medical bills are also there, their transport to school is there, and other social amenities that ought to be provided. These are why I have maintained that we need living wage. So you now box the civil servant to a corner where the civil servant, before the money even comes in at the end of the month, he or she has already ended up borrowing, owing to the fact that the money that was paid to him in the previous month wasn't sufficient enough to run him through. So I have been an advocate of living wage, not minimum wage. Now, let us even look at it. NLC was asking for something from 200,000 to 250 as minimum wage. But after several tripartite agreements and meetings with the federal government and state government committee, they came up with what was approved as a minimum wage. Shortly after that was done, you have seen that the NNPC have increased the pump price more than 3 times. The last one got to the point that the NLC threatened to go on strike, even saying that wasn't what was agreed with them and Mr. President before they accepted the minimum wage. So you can see that before the wage even comes, the workers have been boxed to the corner. Now, the states that are yet to still come to discussing and coming to a conclusion as to how much they can truly pay are not being fair to workers. In as much as minimum wage has been agreed and passed into law through the parliament, through an act of the parliament, it has become a law. For failing to implement it from the day it was passed into law, it becomes a violation of the law.
Okay, the violation of the law you're talking about, don't you think there are some reasonable impediments that are responsible for this failure of implementation?
no, there is nothing that is reasonable than owing, that will make you to owe a worker. Even the Holy Bible condemns you not paying your worker, because the Bible says that by the fruit of thy labor shall thou eat bread. And so a labor is entitled to his wages. And so someone has put in his, his sweat, his labor, and then at the end of the month, some factors had made to pay the person's entitlement. Let's even look at it. Apart from Akwa Ibom State and Rivers State that has come out to